Yes, I am back once again, and this evening I am going to be casting for you the final game between Un and BurgerSlayer. So, I'm pretty hyped about this game. I really enjoyed the first two matches between these two guys. Had a little bit of everything, a little bit of cheese going on, a little bit of a rush going on. So I'm interested to see what happens here. Let me introduce the players. So this is Un, the purple Zerg, in the top corner of this map. There he is, hastily not building workers. And down in the bottom we have BurgerSlayer, the blue Protoss, who is into a pylon, as you might expect. So, what map is this? I've completely forgotten. Is this Orbital Shipyard or something? Who knows? Anyway, it's a map, and this particular map has got the Pocket Expo out the back. Very nice indeed for those early expands. It's got a relatively straightforward ramp to hold here for the third, but it does have these destructible rocks around the back as well. Note this kind of area here. Very common tactic, well, it would be at this end of the map, for Zerg players on this map, is to send an overlord to this sort of zone, convert that overlord to be able to carry units, and then send down sort of lings to this area, pop them into this corner unseen, and run them into the mineral line to circumvent any and all defences that your opponent might have at the front. Now this is interesting straight away from BurgerSlayer. Choosing to expand down here at the third location. This is much harder to hold than in at the back here. Bearing in mind that the one in at the back, the only way into it is via this ramp. That ramp can be held with a single force field. This area, this ramp is pretty wide, so I said already that it was relatively easy to hold this for your third, but that's normally assuming that by the time the third is up and mining, you've probably got enough stuff to deal with it. Un, meanwhile, the Zerg is throwing down double hatch before pull. Greedy boy, like it a lot. So this double hatch opener with gas mining is going to mean that as soon as this pull finishes, he will have enough gas to research metabolic boost straight away. The pull will finish up. This hatch is going to finish up marginally before the pull. Hello, cheeky. So potentially Un will be able to churn out a vast number of lings from these three hatches, especially if he pops out queens for all of them. Sorry about the panning here. Let me see if I can pan. Oh no, that's horrific. Where? Oh, dirty play. Let's just have a look at Un's vision, see if he can catch a whiff of that. He cannot. The creep just doesn't quite extend far enough. Now, if this is going to be a cannon rush, that's a tricky thing indeed, because the creep, of course, you cannot build on creep as the Protoss player. Oh, look, he sniffs it out, literally sniffs it. So that's excellent response there from Un, who must have seen that worker crossing the creep to get into that corner. BurgerSlayer, perhaps if you'd have built the pylon there, you might have got away with it. Back in the Protoss base, usual stuff happening. So that sneaky pylon shut down straight away. There is, of course, a forge at home for BurgerSlayer, so he could have potentially caused some serious disruption with a cannon rush down in that sort of area. At the very least, a single cannon could have prevented mining and prevented a gas from going up. Okay, so a handful of lings are up already. No metabolic boost researching yet. Still just 2 workers in the gas here. But if we look at this supply, a significant supply lead for Un. And I suspect that is largely, well, 2 reasons really. One, BurgerSlayer is floating a reasonable amount of minerals, but he has been investing quite a lot in structures. So let's have a look. We have 3 gates up, or almost up. We've got this cannon, we've got the side core that is researching warp gate. We've also got the forge. No research being done there. That forge, I suspect, was purely to be able to instigate the cannon rush. That is a lot of lings, isn't it? How many lings have we got here? We've got 28 lings just running about. But still no speed. You need, oh yeah, speed halfway done. So getting there. Up in the production tab here, this mothership core that's coming in is just absolutely crucial in as a defensive unit. Is this a complete wall? Is there a gap just there? I'm not so sure there is. I think this might be a complete wall off. Not such a bad plan under the circumstances. What I'd like to see though is a base go down here, BurgerSlayer, because you've built this wall, so you're pretty much bulletproof from any sort of ling run-bys or harass. So why not, you know, get that third down into the bargain? It's gonna take quite a force to break this, really, especially with the mothership core in the offing that can photon overcharge. What's happening over here? These lings now do have speed. There are a lot of them. So it's 24 lings in a tab plus another 16, 40 lings ready to rock. What I wouldn't mind saying is, you know, dispatch about 8 of them to start working on this debris at the back. You know, if BurgerSlayer might notice it, but if he's not paying attention, very likely wouldn't notice that that debris was being nibbled. If we just look from BurgerSlayer's point of view, yeah, so he can see the debris, but unless he clicks on it, very unlikely to notice that it is getting nibbled. What do we have here? Worker just off looking around the map. Always like to see that. I like to see a bit of scouting happen. I like to see a player being aware of what's going on. Yep, okay. These queens need to be spitting on these hatcheries to get those additional larvae out. Okay, that's a load of lings. Look, we're up to 3 tabs of lings. Oh, look, no, I've managed to highlight a doodad there. Do bear in mind in StarCraft you can't... Oh, there is a gap! Block the gap! Force the force field! Dude, the force field! Come on! You're killing me here! The force field! These lings will not fare well against that many zealots, though. Really... you need to run those lings past. Yeah, it was a pretty tight defense. So BurgerSlayer batting this aside without the loss of a single unit. Let's just pop. Oh, Dark Shrine. Let's just pop up the units lost tab. Ooh, that makes for uncomfortable reading, doesn't it? Now where is that Dark Shrine? Here. So the DT Shrine will mean that BurgerSlayer can warp in. Dark Templars, they are cloaked units, perma-cloaked. They don't use energy to cloak or anything like that. They are just always cloaked. So, you're going to need some detection. You're going to need it soon. Un does have the advantage that the lair has finished, so he can convert an overlord to an overseer. V is the button for that, and an overseer therefore. Oh, he's got one already. Look, what am I talking about, man? You know, ahead of the game here. You guys don't need me to slabber on about this stuff. So this force that's moving out, interesting that this worker's got some gas. Does that mean somewhere there is a assimilator with only 2 workers? Somewhere there's an assimilator with no workers. Look, get some of those transferred, dude. Especially if you're going to be warping in DTs. Greedy Protoss, love it. What have we here? That's just an overlord checking stuff out. So these DTs could be very damaging indeed. Not sure about that position. A little bit too close. Very easy for that to get spotted by just any units that would be here that you would as yet be unaware of. Yeah, so let's recap where we're at. Un built 1 million lings, sent them to their death, though really what he needed to do was run them straight on by that wall and into the mineral line where they could go to work. A few choices then once they're in the mineral line. You can put them on a hold command and they will just kill the workers as the workers try and mine past them. That's a common strat. Another option, more lings ready. Another option is to simply try and focus down the nexus and try and kill that before the zealots mop up the lings. And with that many lings, you know, possible. So BurgerSlayer is going to be disappointed to find that Un already has detection here. I'm not sure why you would warp in this cannon. Seems like an unusual choice. Protoss commonly will warp in a gateway next to a forward pylon because units warp in roughly twice as fast, I think, if the pylon is powering a gateway. Doesn't have that effect if there's a cannon. So DTs, even if visible, do a hell of an amount of damage. Look, 45 per hit. And Lings will have a hard time against this, to be honest, because all of this stuff is quite good against Lings. That is a lot of Lings, isn't it? It's a lot of Lings. Yeah. But DTs are certainly one-shotting. No, ignore that stuff. Kill the units. Look how low the units are. Yep. DTs one-shotting Lings pretty merrily. But that is just an overwhelming number of Lings. So, yeah, there you go. So, Lings on the other side of the map, literally swatted aside by BurgerSlayer. BurgerSlayer's slightly more tech-heavy attack on Un's side of the map, swatted aside by Un. This is very nice to see, a bit of backward and forward in this game. BurgerSlayer with this gold expo, not yet mining. So what happens now? We take stock. I want to see some upgrades happening. There's plenty of money for both players, so let's get these upgrades going. Roach speed is so important if you're going to have roaches. I'd also like to see a little bit more map awareness from these two players. You know, Un could have, I don't know, a base down there, he could have a base there, he could have a base there. BurgerSlayer would be none the wiser. BurgerSlayer does indeed have this base in the middle of the map, and as far as I know, Un knows nothing about it. Nope, does not. So, still insisting on these DTs despite the mobile detection being in full effect. You can, of course, warp DTs into Archons, and an Archon is a fantastic unit. Costs you nothing to make the Archon, but obviously you have to sacrifice those two DTs. So that makes those Archons very expensive indeed. Oh, Un, if only you knew. Oh, if these run past the wall, they could do horrific amounts of damage. Don't attack the wall though. Yeah. Well, to be honest, I think they're gonna get in anyway, aren't they? It's just huge numbers of Lings. I don't know. It's not the most cost-efficient trade I've ever seen. I noticed the production tab has gone very quiet at this point. And really the key to success with a lot of these types of pushes is what comes after it. So Un, I'd certainly like to see just holding down the Z button right now. He has 3 bases. You know, I'd love to see a whole stream of roaches, for example, crossing the map on their way here. So a little bit of damage done, but not a very cost-efficient trade. As we can see from the units killed, it's looking pretty ugly, and nobody's really done any economical damage on either side. I'd certainly, I hope Un is going to replace that Overseer. He knows there are these cloaked units on the map. Again, the Lings attacking the wall, you know, limited effect. You need to run them past, you need to be damaging in here, you need to be damaging the infrastructure, taking out important buildings, taking out the forge, taking out the Twilight Council, kill the Dark Shrine, kill stuff. This wall is pretty much sacrificial. The only useful kill here would be... why did I just forget important words? The Cyber Core. Okay, this is more like it. This can definitely get some work done, but it will need some reinforcement. Unfortunately, there is no detection here, so these DTs are immune to anything these roaches can do. Luckily, the roaches are just going to go ham on these workers, but no, don't shoot the building. Kill the workers. You're not going to kill the... You might kill a building, I suppose. Interesting place for a robo. Kill the workers, the workers. Anyway, to be honest, these games do not tend to hinge around economy anyway, do they? Look, with both players with sort of 4,000 and 5,000 in the bank. Actually, what am I talking about? Just goes to show you, I actually know nothing. I just, you know, make this stuff up. Yeah, don't kill the workers, kill pylons. Yeah, man, where are we at? Un. With this not saturated base, this oversaturated, this reasonably okay, but needs some extra gas. So look at this for an imbalance. The toss here with 5,000 minerals, 200 gas. Un, 4,000 minerals, 200 gas. Guys, we need to fix this. So what gives? Yeah, okay. Working on it. Working on it. Yep. You've got a serious mineral imbalance. Typically, this game is gas limited, so gas tends to be the limiting factor. What you need is loads and loads of gas. These DTs cost a lot, man. How much is a DT these days? Is it 120, 125? 125? 125 is what it is. So those are not cheap units. Yes. One way to get rid of this ridiculous mineral stockpile is zealots. Zealots don't cost any gas, they only cost minerals. So if you go to your Twilight, which is here, upgrade zealot charge to make those zealots nice and effective, and then just drop 10 gateways so that you can warp in zealots, 10 at a time. You will quickly shift through that. Now then, is there detection here? No, no, no. Oh, this isn't nice. This isn't nice. The swarm hosts don't have burrow. They're going to get caught out of position. Oh, I don't like to look at it, man. I don't like it. Look. Oh, no, no, and no. Where's the detection? Where's you? No, no, there's no detection. These DTs. Oh, yep. So this spore crawler is a detector. And thankfully, these queens are just going to rip these DTs up, man. Surely. Oh, what? What? Are you kidding me? Look at the number of kills on this thing. Okay, well, they didn't exactly rip them up, but, yeah. Finally, only the one DT left. Now, if he moves over here, he might be out of detection range. What's the range on this thing? Can I get a range dot? No, apparently not. Okay, that was pretty cost effective, I feel, for BurgerSlayer. Did a reasonable amount of damage, killed a lot of queens and stuff, but did lose a lot of DTs, and they cost a lot of gas. Lings only cost minerals, so if I'm the Zerg player, I will happily swap Lings for DTs pretty much all day long. These are going to be a very useful unit. Immortals are just the ticket against roaches. So, a combination of DT Immortal will shred huge numbers of lings and roaches. I'm interested to see... Oh, look, let's find that. That's a result. Interested to see just how unbalanced the income is. That gas base is going to be doing really good work. Oh, Un, you need the detection. You need the detection. Get out of there, man. You're just... Oh, it's not pretty. Yeah, this imbalance of units killed. I'm quite impressed that Un is hanging in there, given how many units he's lost in this game. He really needs to expand, though, outside of his base, or at least transfer workers from here onto these mineral patches, because his income is down the toilet at present. That is not what you want to see. You definitely want to see, over 1,000 mineral income per minute. To have a hope. This is beginning to look problematic. You have to stop them from killing the spore. You have to stop them from killing the spore. Don't forget the transfuses. Well, that's a job well done. Yeah, that's a nice save. So remember, these queens can transfuse stuff, so these queens could just transfuse that spore and keep it alive for a very long time. Now, Un knows about this base. He knows about it, but hasn't really, apart from that initial little poke, hasn't done too much to end it. Perhaps he, I don't know, maybe he doesn't realise about the overseers providing vision of cloaked units. Not sure. Well, the position of these immortals is pretty good. They're tucked away in there. It's hard for the lings to get us around. But lings are really effective against immortals. Immortals, they hammer out big amounts of damage per hit, which is why lings are so good against them, because lings, power in numbers. So yes, the immortals can one-shot lings, but just large numbers of lings nibbling away at the immortal. The immortal also has that fantastic shield, I don't know, Protoss hardened shield or something, which means the most damage an immortal can take in a single hit is 10. That doesn't matter if you're attacking with lings, because their attack is less than 10 anyway. There you go, damage 7 from a ling attack. Yeah, so Yeah, Ling's very, very effective against Immortals. Roaches, much less so. Damage 20 from the Roach, but actually it only gets to do 10. The Roach is also armoured, and Immortals do bonus damage against armoured, so Immortals really do kick Roaches' butts. Yeah, there you can see, versus armoured it does 50 damage. So 3 Immortals is what it takes to one-shot Roaches. BurgerSlayer going ham on the expos all over this map, and I'd really like to see Un do the same. Look! Vipers! First time we've seen Vipers, so I'm excited to see whether or not they are going to play a part in this game. This is having had great success with Queens in the previous game. I think Un is potentially getting a bit carried away here. That is a lot of Queen. Let me explain what Vipers do. The key thing, two sort of main spells that the Viper casts that we are interested in, and that is Abduct and Blinding Cloud. Blinding Cloud will basically throw down a sort of fog through which the range of ranged units is reduced to melee range. So that instantly negates things like the Immortal, unless it's shooting back against Lings. It instantly negates things like a Colossus. It instantly negates things like Stalkers. That is fantastic. The other thing it does is Abduct, where it literally just yoiks an enemy unit halfway across the screen. So if your opponent has like one really quite powerful unit, like this Colossus, you can just yoik it into the middle of your Roaches so that it can then be one-shotted. What Vipers don't do is actually fight stuff. They're not good at that at all. So what I'd like to see is the Abduct just pull this Colossus out of the reach of those DTs so that all of this stuff can just muller it. Still large amounts of money for the Protoss, but money is fast drying up for our Zerg player. Still only mining with these 6 drones. Dude! The Protoss with this sneaky base over here as well, though, still has a very, very robust income. Yeah, what would we like to see at this stage of the game? I'd like to see, you've got these 3 robos, this robo bay. If you're going to be building Colossus, this is the crucial upgrade. The extended thermal lance makes a big difference to the range of the Colossus, which is mighty as it is. Range 6 goes up to range 9, I think. I know they nerfed the Colossus recently, but I don't know that they changed the range. So that gives it the same range as stuff like siege tanks. And because the Colossus is considered an air unit, weirdly, well, it's both ground and air. It is a ground unit. It benefits from ground unit upgrades, but it's so tall that it has air unit vision. Now, are we going to see a counter-attack here? Because that'd be pretty sweet. All of this Protoss is on that side of the map. Are we just going to see these Lings? Please run in the back. Run in the back. Get some work done. Ignore that stuff. Let's see you go in the back. Okay, so finally possibly going to get a little bit of hurt onto the Protoss infrastructure. Maybe kill some of these buildings. But look, the Protoss has decided, screw it, you kill my base, I kill your base. And I'll be honest, this Protoss army will kill base quite a lot quicker than that Zerg army. Let's just compare the army supplies. Yeah, seriously in favour of the Protoss. These Colossus will be just rifling out splash damage. Look how quickly stuff dies to this stuff. Yeah, that is a nasty beasting. Now then, some Roaches, idle, that's the last thing you want. A million Queens just come in to do stuff. You need detection still, and you still need the detection. There's a lot of DTs in there. Let's see how these Queens do. If you had transfuses going down, they'd be pretty cost effective without the transfuses. No, it's ugly. So, can the Zerg player possibly survive this? It's difficult to see how that's going to happen. Yeah, some random Colossus just caught out in the middle of the map here. I think it's all over. 140 supply for the Protoss, 45 supply for the Zerg. It does not look like this game is going to go any further. Yeah, stuff happening everywhere. These 2 Colossus just rinsing this roach that's got like stuck or something in there. It's bad times. Meanwhile, all of this stuff just walking uncontested through the Zerg base. Look, they've almost got that Colossus. The Colossus being so tall does get hit by anti-air, which is kind of cool. So if this stuff walks back the other way, I think there's a good chance this Spore Crawler could actually take out the Colossus. Yeah, but I think it's over. I think it's over. Are we going to see a GG? Are we? Is it? No. Yay! It did get the Colossus. That's funny. So both players infrastructure in disarray, but Un with these 4 roaches. Roaches are not going to do well against this Void Ray because they don't shoot up. BurgerSlayer, meanwhile, with his ground force, but no minerals. With this ground force, is going to be able to just clean up everything in the Zerg, man. So yeah, man, yeah, that's it. That's it. It's over. BurgerSlayer victorious. GG. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to check what time it is and possibly cast another game this evening. Or not. Well played.